beautiful Sunday morning. My weather is not beautiful, but the morning is. Because you know what? Because I woke up. So, that alone makes it a beautiful morning. So, I'm going to jump over here into the chat and say hello to everybody. We got Michelle's Cressamore and Miss Rita. Hey, girl. You were up early. And Miss Melissa. See, Rita says I had to calm down now. My oldest daughter is an Uber driver in Oregon. She was talking to me on the phone, and during the 30 minutes, two other Uber drivers were not nice. I am like, kid, call 911. Oh, I'm so sorry, Rita. Sending hugs and prayers for your daughter. I don't know how in the world anybody has the patience to be an Uber driver because that would just irk me. I would get so frustrated so fast. Let's see. Hey, Miss Mary G. How you doing? And let's see here. Vintage Joe. Hey, girl. How's my baby Gemma and Jessie? Vintage Joe says she is listening and organizing. Yes, ma'am. I did a lot of that yesterday, and I'll be doing a lot more of that today. Michelle is making yo-yos, and we'll work on the puff quilt after a while. Awesome sauce. Hey, Andrea. Mama J Enterprises. See, Melissa says, hoping to finish the stack of bowl cozies by this evening. You got this, girl. You got this. Michelle says, I have cut up all the remnants and only have a couple more stacks of circles to sew, and then I will have to move on to cutting into fat quarters and other small amounts of yardage. And she says she also still has to make curtains, 2 fidget mats, an apron, and the lap quilt for her mom when the fabric comes in. Melissa says a few projects are coming together. Good morning, Miss Brenda C. How you doing? She says frigid there in Northeast Maine. Yes, it is chilly and rainy and gloomy here. Let me see. What is the temperature here? It is. Come on. You were just telling me. 34 degrees here and very much raining. So if it drops a few more temps, then a few more numbers, then it's going to be freezing. Let's see. Hey, Deb Cornell, how you doing? Hey, Mama Debbie. Says, good morning, peoples. I am lurking because I am uploading today's Afterglow. Love you, kid. Sorry about calling during your recording yesterday or the other day. Oops. My mama always says I had the best timing in the world. Hey, Diana and Janet. Hey, girls. How is everybody this morning? I am very slow moving this morning, so. Num 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 coffee. I know Michelle and Mama Debbie messed with me saying I don't drink real coffee because I add creamer and but I do grind my own beans. And so that counts for something, right? Janet says 21 here feels like a 2. No. Do not send that my way. No. Don't do it. So I do have my camera angled a little high so y'all can see my lion. This is 3 completed rows and a half completed row. I do have the next block almost done. So by next Sunday, my goal is to have that block finished and the next one over done. Since I got technically half of a block already done. So my goal is to try to get 2 blocks for this coming week. especially since I have a half a day on Wednesday and I'm off on Thursday. So that should be it. With that time, I should be able to get the rest of that row done, but I'm making it so that way they only got to do 2 blocks this week for myself. That's my goal for myself. Good morning, Miss June. How you doing? She says lots of churches canceled here due to major wind advisories, so now I can stay and watch Donnell. Yay! No, well, there's always online services if you can find one that that is within the realm of how you practice. Aw. Auntie Donna, if you're watching, listening, I love you too so very much. I just got a text message from her saying that she loves me. So just remember, Janet, there's always online in order to be able to watch and listen. So, okay, so since Auntie Donna is not able to go live today, then I decided to go live a little early. I have 3 different, we're going to start with making a bloom, an EPP bloom. And yes, this is some of my remnants of my Christmas fabric. If you recognize this in here, this is from my wall hanging that I made. So I'm going to start with making a bloom, and then I'm going to bring you guys over to my machine, and then we're going to make a quilted postcard because I got 3 of them all set up ready to go. Well, one that's in the process of making, and then I got 2 here that I'm going to be making into quilted postcards because I got a lot of quilted postcards I want to make out so I can get them shipped out. Let's see. 22 out feels like 5. I'm doing good. I am so glad you're doing good. Stay warm. Stay indoors and stay warm, girly. Okay, so I'm going to bring you guys over here to my other camera. There we go. I think that should be good right there. And let's switch my camera up so that way it's there. Let's see. Unlock that. And we are going to alter this viewing a little bit because I want to be able to make sure I get out of the way over here as much as possible. I think that should be good. Okay. I'll just remember to stay out of this corner that you guys can't really see in. Let's see. Janet says, hi, June. We can be cold together. Y'all can go snuggle. And just make sure you keep me on. I'm sorry. I am like so thirsty this morning, and coffee is just so soothing. It's soothing to the soul. Alrighty, so I'm gonna move my mouse over here. So as you see here, I have some super cute little snowmen already made up, as well as some snowflakes. There we are. As well as some snowflakes. So these are gonna be going around my snowman. Like so. All I gotta do is lay it down here. So I'm gonna show you guys how I stitch based mine. You can also glue base. I just don't. I just prefer stitch basting because it's more relaxing to me. So once I get these all made up and everything, then, so what I do is I take, oh, I forgot to get my template out. Hang on, let me grab my template. Gotta have my handy dandy template that I make and everything. So what I like to do is I like to lay this down on here and keep as much of this as possible. I got myself an ink pen. And these are just rough cut 2.5 inches. Some of them are nowhere near 2.5, but they're just rough cut. Don't gotta be perfect because this is gonna be on the back. So as you see, I'm not even worried about whenever I don't follow the line. As long as I wind up being on the outside of it, I don't care. Because that's just all within the seam allowance. So And my template here gives me a 3/8 inch seam allowance. So I'll go ahead and get these other two taken care of. These here are a little bit on the skinnier side. So we're going to put the skinnier side going this direction, which as you see still fits. You can also use a rotary cutter if you wanted. Maybe I'll do the rotary cutter on the last one to show you. I do sell these for $5 a piece. And you get to pick the color that you want. The color of mine is a rainbow purple. And if you'd like to see me do it with a rotary cutter, we can do that real quick because I got a small cutting mat right here. Right, Rita? I'm like all about how can we make this easy. And the best part is with this little template, you can also do like fussy cutting. Like say if you wanted to fussy cut out one of these uh snowflakes. So if you wanted to fussy cut that, you easily could. Because then you can see in the window here of what it is that you're going to be cutting out. You got a rotating cutting mat. This works great. I could easily turn this mat. I just chose not to. And it's a 1/4 inch thick. So that way there it gives me plenty of room to have my fingers and not worry about getting my fingers cut. So I could actually have my fingers right here and I won't cut my fingers. Hey, Miss Linda. Happy Sunday to you too, lovely. Now, I will tell you right now, I did order the EPP AccuQuilt dies. It does not give you a 3/8 1/4 inch seam allowance like my template does. It only gives you a 1/4 of an inch, which is a lot tighter to get around. So this is the difference of that versus mine. So there is a huge difference. So this is actually, with a 1/4 inch, it is possible to still stitch based, but it makes it a lot tighter to get it in there and fidgety. Where my 3/8 I feel is a lot more of a comfortable seam allowance. So just wanted to let you guys know the difference because I did get it. I was curious on whether it would work or not. Let's see. I am here, so just watching, talking on the phone, so volume is low. No worries at all, Rita. Let's see. What did Miss Linda say? Happy Sunday, everyone. Hope everyone is having a good and relaxing day. I would not be having a relaxing day, but it would be relaxing once I get my basement clean. All my sewing stuff gone through and back up here where it belongs. So now we are going to take my thread. And they say to only take a small amount because otherwise then you're taking risk of getting knots. But that's why I use my beeswax conditioner. And I do not knot the end of my thread. I do not knot. So we're going to move this out to the side for a moment. Just going to set the papers over here on that. And I'll pull up my thread conditioner. So what I like to do, as you see, mine is very well used. You can see all my lines going through it. And I still got tons of it. So what I do is I start on one side and I just pull it through. Nice and taut. And I like to do this a couple of times. For one, it strengthens the thread, so it makes it harder for the thread to break. And for two, it also makes it so that way they're definitely, Deb. Yes, ma'am. So there I went through it 3 times, and from my needle minder, I actually put the magnet that goes on the back of the needle minder on the inside of my box, because then I put my needle minder on my bot, on the lid of my box, and it helps hold my needle right there whenever I'm not using it. Because then my needle is right there, and I ain't got to worry about it falling off. I do got to worry about it being out of reach of puppies, because Mr. Choo Choo has already decided he loves Grandma's needles. So now I just wrap this around. I hold it with my thumb fingernail. And since I did not knot it, I did not put a knot in there, which I used to, and you can. Then I just swirl it over, hold on to that tail as well as those 2 sides of fabric, and then go through those 2 more times. Because once I get this all done up and something on all of the sides of this, then I would just remove the paper and the stitching. Listen here, little Hetsy, you are going to behave yourself. We are not going to misbehave on camera today. That is not proper manners. And yes, I like to talk to my stuff. You have to be able to show discipline to them. Let me bring you guys down a little closer so you guys can actually see what it is that I am doing. Sometimes it can be hard to see around the fingers. So what I do is I try and hold the fabric down and I curl it over. And that gives me my miter corners. And my nice sharp pointed corners. So I'm going through this side and I come out through the other side, through the other over here. And I am not going through all the way through because I don't want the thread to show up on the other side. So once I stick my needle in and I fill that paper, not hard on sticking it in, just a little gentle, and I fill that cardboard right there, then I flip my needle up a little to get it to come back out. You do not ever want to go through your cardboard because for one, that can dull your needle. And for two, then you're taking a chance of your thread coming through the other side, and then that means all your basting stitches will be shown. And you don't want your basting stitches seen. If you ever have questions on how to do this or anything like that, or how I do this, not how to do it, because there are lots of ways to do it, on any questions on how I do this or any of the stuff I use, feel free to message me or email me, and I'll be more than happy to help you out. Let's see. Yuck again. It's snowing, cold blowing, snowing. Ew. No snow. Snow, go away. Hello, Miss Kathy Hutchins. How you doing? Says good morning, Donnell. Love EPP quilts. Interesting how you cut your fabric. I use 2.5-inch squares to cover my 1-inch hetsies. Yes, that is what I use as well. I normally cut, whenever I'm cutting up my scraps, I usually cut up anything I make. If I have any fabric left over from it, I will cut 2.5-inch squares, at least enough to make a couple of the Hetzy blooms, so that way they can go in my memory quilt. And I do cut them in 2.5-inch squares, and then I use my little template to cut them down into my Hetzy shapes. Or as you've seen here on this one here, I just draw the lines and then cut it with scissors. All depends upon where I'm at. If I had the luxury of using my rotary cutter and cutting mat, or if I'm in the front room or in the car, then I know I can just use pen and paper or pen and scissors. Deb says I will have to check the size of my hexagons and email you for a tool guide. Yes, if you email me today, Deb, then I can try and get that made up and put into your package, because I got your order all ready to go for you. I've never used wax on my thread. I didn't ever used to either until I heard that it strengthens the thread and helps keep you from getting tangles. So fun to see how everyone works to the same end result. Yes, ma'am. It's all about what works for yourself. Yep, lip balm will work too. It's all about just giving it that waxy so no matter what you use, whether it's beeswax or any other type of stuff like lip balms, it's all about what is about strengthening this thread so that way that it makes it harder for it to break, and strengthening it so that way there it doesn't knot as easily. Kathy says no lip balm here, just yard long thread. I work the knots out while sewing. Yeah, sometimes I do that if I don't have my thread case by me, my thread conditioner case by me. It can. It does. As you see right here, I got like next to no twirls or anything like that. I've had no knots so far. You guys can continue watching me and see whether it gets knots, because I'm going to be making this entire bloom. And then if we got time, then we are going to make quilted postcards. I want to get at least one quilted postcard done up today on my live stream, so that way there you guys can see how to do it. Like I am going to be live for an hour and a half, so I should have plenty of time, because this does not take me long at all to do. Hey, Miss Mona, how you doing? Let's see. I was taught in school no more than length of your arm so you don't get knots. Yeah, that's why I was taught too, but I hate keep threading that needle every few moments. It gets on my nerves. Hey, Miss Joyce JK, how you doing, love? No, it does not. It asks you to Nope, not at all. I have not noticed any residue left on the fabric. And if it does, then it's only on the back of the fabric or in the seams. So then it would actually strengthen that fabric. And it's very, very little. Like after I run mine through the thread conditioner, then I will run it through my fingers to get any excess off. But it doesn't really pick up a lot, and it absorbs it very quickly into the thread. But I have not noticed any residue being left on my fabric. And I've used it like on my batiks, and I have not noticed anything, and it does help quite a bit. It just makes it so that way there it glides through nice and smoothly. No knots, no tangles, no twisting of my thread, which is what causes the tangles. Like by now, I would have normally been needing to unknot this thing multiple times. Let's see. Hey, Miss June Hanson and Miss Sandra. Hey, Sean. Good morning. How are you doing? And Miss Brenda Foley. Oh, a lot of people have jumped in here. I love it. So today I'm just teaching everybody or showing everybody how I make my little headsy blooms, how I go from very start to finish. I'm making headsy blooms, and then how I also make quilted postcards using a headsy bloom. And to me, this is very, very soothing. I love the fact that I decided to do this on my Sunday mornings because Sundays are for a day of relaxation. And what better way to relax than to do hand sewing? And something that is not so precise, like hand quilting. Hand quilting, the tiniest little stitch that you do wrong, people can see. And yeah, I just don't really want all that shown. And to me, that is harder on me than what done up little headsies are. And if you need me to bring this up closer to the camera, then let me know, and I will. Actually, let me do that right here. So what I do is I just fold this over into a miter corner-ish. Doesn't got to be nice and neat. And I just put it through, going into the bottom fabric, out to the top fabric. And that makes my knot right there. And then I'll come back over here through the one I started on, just so that way there it gives it a nice long secured tail. And then I trim my thread. And I don't trim it so close to the edge or anything. I don't trim it so close to the edge. I do leave a little bit of a tail hanging out, so that way there you can always see it. So this is what this is going to look like. And you can turn these however you want to make them work for you. I think that is a gorgeous, beautiful viewing right there. Let me raise up my mat so that way there you can see it nice and clearly. So that is how this is going to look. I think it's super pretty, and let's frame it out nicely. Let me put my rotary cutter and my ink pen away because now I don't need that anymore. Let's see. Michelle. John says he's awake but sleepy still for some reason. I was prepping keto lasagna. So yummy. Ooh, lasagna. Nom, 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 nom. Yes, Miss June. She said she is so happy that she did her errands yesterday, so that way there she can stay in and sew today. So you take the center one and one of the outside pieces, and you put their sides up against each other. This is where a needle minder comes in handy. So let me grab one of my needle minders. See if I have an extra one in here. I got my little honeybee. So what I like to do is use my needle minder, and this needle minder, little 1-inch needle minder, can work on any size headsies that you're working on. So I put it on one side, and that is hover over, and it picks it up, picks up the magnet, and that way there, I don't have to hold so tightly on this now, straining my hand and my fingers. So once again, no knots. You can do a little knot in there if you like. I don't. I feel that that's just wasting my time. And then I do like a little knot here after I went through it a few times because I don't want this to come loose. Because this stitching is going to be staying in here. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to go through just a little bit of each piece. And we're going to do the stitches. They say to average about 20 to 25 stitches per inch. And there's a 1-inch hexagon, so I need about 20 to 25. I don't really ever count them. I just try to keep my stitches nice and close. They don't need to be like right on top of each other, but they do need to be somewhat close to each other. So let me see if I can get it to zero in on this. So you can see my stitching. Way less than 1/4 of an inch. However, it is super close to each other, but they're not like right on top of each other. You want to give the stitches a little bit of breathing room, but not a whole lot of breathing room. Let's see. Sunday is the day I do my week prep. Yeah. Sunday's the day I usually do a lot of my cleaning and my like laundry and stuff like that. I'm gonna plan on my New Year resolution to make some headsies every day. Odds how long that will last. You got this, Brenda. Even if you just make one per day. Good morning, Angel. How you doing? Let's see. Okay, it says here that your name is Angelina. So good morning, good morning. So happy you came to watch. I don't recognize your name, so hello, hello. Let's see. You should be getting another needle minder in a few months when the second, right? Sean, I am like so ecstatically anxious waiting for that. Oh my gosh. I'm like so anxious to get that needle minder. And I make needle minders and I love needle minders. They're cute. They're adorable. They are great for using as magnets as well as for hand sewing or just for decoration. I have some that I have just for decoration. Like I have a Winnie the Pooh one that I found on Etsy that was so super cute. So then I just remove the headsie and then the magnet falls right off. And my pieces are already basted together and then you can't really see the stitching. Like if I pull it hard, you can see the stitching, but I mean, why would you really pull it hard? So then I just try and do up my next one. So my next one, I grab it and I could either start off with stitching over here first and then come down over here. Or what I really like doing is just stitching all these on to the center one and then I'll come back and stitch 2 sides at a time onto the sides. And I'll show you guys that method. I'm gonna get some new thread because I'm getting low on that one. Let's see. Has anyone used sew the magnets? Sew tight magnets. I have not. A lot of people do love them, including Tula Pink. I just never used it. I did really good at sewing at least 15 minutes every day. Awesome sauce, girl. Yeah, for me, this is what I love doing whenever I am sitting down watching TV with the guys at night. So it's relaxing. It keeps my hands busy. Hey, Katie Krabs is in the house, and Miss Sheila. Hello, hello, peoples. This project I bought white already based it on Etsy. Awesome sauce. Let's see here. Hey, Regina. Good morning, peoples. I love seeing all these people in here. This is awesome. You guys are all so amazing. I love needle minders. I bought a pin attachment to glue on. I wear on jackets and hats. Oh, that is a brilliant idea, Brenda. I love it. It's like magic. Yes, Christmas magic. Okay, I think I got to the bottom of the chat. Coffee time. Coffee break. So actually, what I'm going to do is, so that way there I can pay attention to the chat, I'm going to bring my phone down here so I can watch the chat. While still sewing. Ha 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 ha. There we go. I got it over here out of camera view. Let me set it up for all messages, not the top messages. Yes, ma'am, Sandra. I would definitely tell my mom you said hello. She is actually off work today, so she gets a nice relaxing day with Dad. I think they are planning on going to some stores later or something like that, but... Hey, Ms. Zaza! How are you doing, my love? I enjoyed your live stream last night. Unfortunately, I did not get to stay for the whole thing, so I'll be catching the replay later of what I missed. I was able to stay through half of it, and then I had to get going because family stuff and phone calls and stuff like that. You know, all that good, wonderful, lovely life stuff. Regina says, I have never done EPP. I just bought a small kit from my hobby home, D-Stash. We will see if I like it or not. If you do not like it, or if you have any questions or anything, let me know. I like to run mine through the thread conditioner 2 to 3 times. If I'm in a hurry, which I very rarely am whenever I'm doing this, then I only do once. And once is sufficient as well. I just like to do 2 to 3 times to give it a little extra oomph. And then what I do is I just grab from the needle and I even out the thread base. So now I'm just going to go through here and we're going to stitch this one down. See, Joyce JK says, we'll be lurking. Need to fold laundry from yesterday. I hate folding laundry. Girl, me too. Oh, that sounds like fun, Zaza. She says that Thursday evenings, her and a group of YouTubers and viewers and all get together on Discord to do English paper piecing. That sounds like a lot of fun. Zaza, if you post it in the Quasar peeps, the link for that, then the invite link for that, then I can have Michelle or somebody go into my Quasar peeps face messenger chat and grab that link and post it in here. Ah, My thread is knocked off my needle minder. Bad thread. Bad, bad, bad thread. How dare you do something so cruel? Knocking off the honeybee like that. How dare you? And it's so funny because since I've been sitting here, so I don't even cut my thread at this point, guys. Since I'm going to go ahead and stitch on all my blooms, all my flower petals, I just grab the next one because I'm already right there. So I just go ahead and grab the next one, put it on here. Yeah, I'm not really worried about the orientation of it. And I just start stitching on the next one. Less thread cutting, less. So see, you can sit there and hold it with your hands if you want. I prefer not. There we go. Okay, not a problem at all, Zaza. I didn't know with it being English paper piecing, I thought maybe it was yours. Sorry about that, honey. Discord is like a Facebook Messenger, but you can do video chat and you can hang out with groups of people. You don't have to sign up for it or anything like that. You just download the Discord app and people send you invite link for that for their group. Kind of like a Facebook Messenger, and you can do video chat and everything. I don't have one. I did at one point, but I canceled mine because it just became too hard to keep track of between that and Facebook and YouTube and everything else. Excuse me. I did not tell you to not up in there. So you will still occasionally get knots, but nowhere near like you would before. And see, I removed my headsy and my magnet just falls right off. And we come up here and we just start stitching on the next one. So for the weighted thread, you can use pretty much any thread, but my preference is the 50 weight Aurifil, which is the orange. That is what I prefer. And I love doing the dove gray, which is this one here. And here is the number for it. Let me get that to zero in. There we go. So this is what I like to use. And you can order of a 2-pack off of Amazon. And because that's what I did. And after all the EPP I've been doing, I'm still in the first one and still got that much left. So but that is just my personal preference. So everybody has to play around with different things. I tried regular sewing cotton thread, small spools, and it just didn't work out for me. I didn't care for it. This is what I've been the most happiest with. Yes, definitely, Joe. She goes, so I'm reorganizing. Do you think I would forget where I put everything? Yes, most definitely. You're going to need to make out a list. Labels, 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 girly. That's all I gotta say. It's what I've been doing. Labels, labels, labels. Just remember, Rome was not built in a day, and neither was the organization of a sewing room. So once I get done with all these, I will be coming back to um to stitch the sides, but I'll show you how I do that. Just give everything in your room an address, and then that way there you can use Google Maps to find it. So what is everybody else working on right now? I know Vintage Joe is organizing her room. Think of it as an eating an elephant, one bite at a time. It gets done just slowly, definitely. Put a heart in the chat if you are doing English paper piecing or if you enjoy doing English paper piecing. And put a smiley face in there if you've never done English paper piecing before. Janet goes, I'm doing EPP, of course. Yay! I should have you come on with me on a live stream on a Sunday whenever you don't have church. And we can do English paper piecing together. Regina says, I'm trimming a quilt right now. Michelle is doing yo-yos. Janet, Kathy, and Sheila like doing EPP. Loving all the purple hearts and all the red, white, and blue hearts. Michelle put a kitty cat face. I'm assuming that is supposed to be her smiling emoji. Which Michelle likes doing yo-yos. So that's like her version of EPP. Just minus paper. Pitsy, calm down, baby girl. I know, pretty girl. Calm down. So funny. With having 3 puppies, or technically 1-year-olds now, which for a small dog is adults, then it's just so funny of how you get to learn their voices and their barks. Just like with kids, how you learn their cries. Let's see here. Janet says, that's a great idea. Yes, girl. It'd be fun having you on. We do English paper piecing together. And if you had not subscribed to Janet's channel, please do so. Janet, feel free to drop your channel link for Janet's quilting in here I know you're logged in underneath a different name right now, so feel free to grab Janet's quilting and drop it down in the link for it in here since you are a moderator. Anyone else that has a channel, feel free to do exclamation selfie, and that'll drop your channel link. The more we work together as a team, the more we all grow together. Joe says, I've been doing yo-yos on the couch at night. I have a mountain of them. Ooh, Lord have mercy. Michelle says, I need a ton of them, Joe. I am making a queen and a king size quilt. Yeah, she's using 5-inch circles to make hers. Kathy is asking, what are you going to be doing with all your yo-yos, Vintage Joe? Katie says, need coffee. Read Joe's comment as she was doing yoga on the couch. She read your comment as you were doing yoga on the couch. Oh my gosh, girl. Go get coffee, please. Yes, and Regina, which is K Money Quilting, she has a channel too. Got to go over and watch hers. Really good channel. I enjoyed from what I've seen so far. I have not watched all of it, but I have enjoyed what I have watched. Okay, so now I'm at the end. I got all my blooms attached to the center. So now what I'll do is I'll move this out of my way. I cut my thread. I got all my pieces attached to the centerpiece. So now, as you see, I got these two, and these two. So I'm just going to fold this right in half, making sure I got nice clean points and everything's lined up. Then I put my headsy on here. So that way there, I got my needle minder here in the center. So I'm going to stitch here, not cut my threads, jump over here and stitch there. And that way there I'm getting two sides closed up at one time. So I start over here on this end. Holding that tail of my thread. I go through it twice and then I knot it. So then I try and just go through here. And this is how I like to make my blooms. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, and it doesn't take me long at all. Oh wow, I have been live for an hour already. Okay, so in just a minute, we're going to switch over to the machine. And so that way I can show how I make my quilted postcards. So I've had people ask me how I do this. So instead of trying to find the video where I did it once before, figure what better way to do it than just do it on a live stream again. So it's not like I didn't need to make up more anyway. So, because I got a bunch of quilted postcards I need to get out. And I know Christmas is over with, but it's okay. It's belated Christmas. Never too late for a Christmas present. Right? Or a thank you present or whatever. So I knot at the beginning and at the end of that headsy. Then I jump over here. Don't even cut my threads. You can if you want, but I don't. And I jump over here to this corner. The inside corner of these headsies. Go through it once and then I knot it. And then I stitch Sorry, guys. Just realized you were not able to see that. Ah, my thread is trying to come out my needle. Okay, let's see here. Good morning, Janet. How's your weather? I can't hardly see across the street in a blizzard here in Cherokee, Iowa. Janet says, here too, June. We are 1.5 hours apart. We have to meet up. Good morning, Miss Jean. How you doing? Kathy yo-yos for my snippet rolls and to give with orders. Let's see, I make winter Christmas projects all year round, right? You gotta make winter Christmas projects all year round so that way there you can be able to keep up whenever it's the winter Christmas time. Kathy wants to know, is a snippet roll a type of quilt pattern? Never heard of it before, always looking for a new hand sewing project. Hey, Kate, I did receive your Christmas e-card yesterday. Oh my gosh, it's so adorable. So it wound up getting sent into the wrong inbox of my, like the spam inbox, but I went and grabbed it because I went searching for it after you said something. Oh my gosh, it was so cute. So since I did those two, now those two are already stitched up, and all I gotta do now is just trim this thread that goes across from where I went straight across. Then you just do those two and these two, and that's all done. And then your bloom is done, and you're able to take out the center. And to take out the center, what I like to do, actually like this one right here, I just pull all three of the threads up, trim them all at once, cut them. And then this one here, all you gotta do, I don't even unbaste my head tees most of the time. So I just pull the paper out. So we're gonna go ahead and go on to the next step because I'm running out of time. So what you do is, best part about these head tees having a circle or the little cutout in the center is you can grab it when they're not being stubborn and pull it right out. You do want to press these down so that way there's nice, good seam. So I'm going to go ahead and put these papers over here away. Put my thread up for now. Because now we're going to get ready to go to the next step, guys. I don't use glue. I stitch based. You can glue based. I just prefer to stitch based because it makes it easier and cleaner to remove the papers. Okay, we're going to put that little thing right there. So what I like to do, because of the measurements of these, whenever these 1-inch headsies are done, measures just over 5 1/4. So I cut my one piece of batting and my one piece of fabric, which is going to be my background fabric for this one, 5.5 inches tall, 7 inches wide. And then you just place it down on here where you want it. And that way there, then we're going to do our zigzag stitching around all this. But first what I want to do is remove my papers. So I just reach my thumb in here or fingers or whatever and pull up my fabrics. And of course it's going to be fussy right now because I'm on a live stream. The one without the holes is the EPP headsies that I made. Papers I made. These here that I bought are a little stiffer, which I prefer. So I need to get stiffer cardboard for making my headsies or my shapes. See you later, Jen. Have a great day, sweethearts. I don't think Vintage Joe is in the Quasar Peeps group. I don't think she is. I can't remember for sure. So what I like to do is I actually use my best press water mixture just to spray a little spritz on there. Over there I got nice, good, solid seams. I want any seams or back, any fabric that isn't supposed to be around to the front to come around to the front. And then I put the batting with so the batting has two different sides. We got the bubbly side that you can see there, and then we got the nice, smooth, soft side here that you can see. So if I bring it over here, you can actually see the difference of the two. So we got the smooth side, and we got the bubbly side. The bubbly side is the back of it. So I lay this down. I lay my backing fabric right on top of it. I want them to be the same size. And then I lay this down. So you see here, with me doing 5.5 inches tall, I don't have much room left on the outside of this, on the top and the bottom. And that is completely okay, because that's how I want this. So then what I do is I like to grab my stick pins. I'll grab my small ones for this. I grab my stick pins and I just try and pin this a little bit. I'll keep it in its place until I get it stitched down. And as I do each bloom, I will remove it. There we go. Actually, it'd probably be best just to do it this way. You only need one piece of batting and one background fabric. Okay, and since this is pins that can be pressed on over, then I just try and run it over just a little bit. These are magic pins, so they won't melt. Alrighty, so, and I already got my paper cut as well. I think I cut the paper a little too big though. I did. Okay, so the paper would still need to be trimmed down just a hair, but that's okay. We can do that in just a few moments. So I'm going to bring you guys over here to my desk, so be patient with me. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a zigzag stitch or I'm going to do a straight stitch right along the edge. So I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to go right along this edge here, all the way around. And then I'm going to do it on the inside and outside of this center Hetsy. And that way there, I am securing this down the way I like it. But I like to do it around the outside edge first. And I just go from corner to corner of my Hetsy. I've not added on the paper or anything like that yet, the cardstock onto the back of this or anything yet, because that would be my last step. So you want to cut your batting, your background fabric, and your paper, cardstock paper, all the same size. If you're going to do it the way I am. Which for me, for 1-inch hexagon blooms, is 5.5 by 7 is how I cut them. Traditional postcards are 5 by 7, but because of the size of my 1-inch Hetsies, I had to change it to 5.5. So as far as the thread color for this, I base my thread color based on what I think is going to look good with the Hetsy. Now you can zigzag stitch it down, but I usually just do a straight stitch. Like right now I'm using a white because this is a red, white, and blue. So I'm just using a white, which is what I already had in here. I'm like, it'll still look good with it, so that's okay. But you can match your threads to this. And as far as thread color for when you're stitching up your Hetsies, you can use whatever color you want. I just prefer dove gray because it blends in with so many of my fabrics so well that you don't really see it. I can tell my husband and son are up because for one, the puppies went crazy just now. And then all of a sudden got silent. So, as you see here, I got my basting done up around here. So now I'll go around the inside of this Hetsy and around the outside of this Hetsy. And I'll show you at each section here that I finish. Now I'm just taking my pins out because it's already pin basted. Let's see, thinks I am brand new and just getting started with my channel. No worries at all. Let's see, what did Mary say? You can reuse those? Yes, you can reuse the papers. Joy had a snippet roll from a friend. I made a zipper bag with them. Came out so cute. When I showed her the bag, she was so excited. Awesome sauce, Mary. That is definitely an awesome idea. Hey, Miss Lily. Okay, so now what I do is I like to go along the outside. So I pick a spot where I can go right into, start right in where the seam is. Right on the outside. I'm going right along the, right beside the edge. And something like this, you do want to go really slow at. And you can just jump right over to the inside of the Etsy, but I like to cut my threads and start fresh because for one, this is going to be on the outside where everybody can see it. So I want it to be nice and pretty. So there you see, I went right along the outside of my Etsy. Now I'm going to go on the inside of my Etsy. And this is going to be securing my stitches, my hand stitches. And it gives Mickey a really nice pop. And I think the tan background is super pretty for him because all the other colors, like the red and white, are all so bright. And I want them to be the focal point. And the tan background gives it that calming edge. And doesn't steal from the show. Because, you know, Mickey Mouse has got to be the star of the show. So there's that. So as you see there, blends right in with Mickey Mouse because of the white and gray background. And you can barely even see it except for in the blue. So super cute. Allows Mickey to be stand out and be the star of the show. So now we're going to take one of the papers. And I'm going to lay it on here and mark where I need to trim it at so I can get this trimmed down. And then I'm just going to use my thread cutting scissors to trim this out. Normally I would take it over to my mat and cut it with my big rotary cutter, but I'm not doing that today. So then I take my paper, and it doesn't matter which side of my paper because both sides are paper. So then I want to take my paper and I want it all to line up nice and evenly. And what I like to do is I like to use clips. Kate says that fabric is not going anywhere. So pretty. Thank you. Danella, do you change your needle size or is it the standard size? I just use the standard. I always use a 90 in my machine, so I just continue on with that. I don't use anything special. I'm sure some people probably do. I just choose not to. And then these loose threads, because this is fabric that I have had cut for quite some time. Had a little bit of fraying on there, but that's okay. So now what I do. So what you can do now is you can change the thread to match the background thread. I'm just going to leave mine as white. Thank you, Kathy and Joe and Janet. So I got all 4 of my sides are clipped. So now we're going to try and do a zigzag stitch. So what I like to do for my zigzag is I decrease the width or the length down to 0.8 and I increase the width up to about 5. So let me take a picture here so I can show y'all. So this is, let's see, turn off the light. There you go. So that is what my settings are for when I am doing this. And what I do is I don't start exactly in the in the corner. And I always make sure that my needle, when it first comes down, that it'll come down on the inside. Because you know when it first comes down, it's going to do that locking stitch. And I just do it so that way there, my needle comes to just on the outside of all 3 layers, and then comes over into the inside. And this is where a purple thing will come in handy, or in my case, I like to use Victoria, my seam ripper. And what I do with my seam ripper is I have it like, where it's like this right here up against the fabric, where the long edge is right over there. And then where is it? Yeah, the long edge is on the inside. The little ball is right on the outside, and it helps hold everything down as it's going through my machine. And when I get over here to the end, I just pivot. Raise up my foot, press the foot enough just so I can pivot. And the purple thing or whatever you want to use to help hold down that fabric keeps it from going up over the foot and getting all curled up and messy. Keeps everything laying down nice and flat the way it should be. Now, normally whenever I make my quilted postcards, I do write on them before I do all this. Which is great for like birthday cards. Let's see. Sorry, I was off seeing a patient. Did you take the Etsy paper out? Yes, I did. Yep, I take the Etsy papers out. Once I get these all stitched on, I start with taking out the center, and then I take out all the outside ones, all out. And then I spray a little bit, very lightly spray a water starch mixture. So I use Best Press in my mister. In my spray mister, I use half Best Press and half water. And then I just lightly mist the fabric, and then I press it on both sides so that way everything is nice and flat and crisp. Not super stiff, just to keep everything nice and flat and beautiful. And then I start doing all my stitching down. And what I like to do is stitch straight stitch around all of my outside of my Hetsies, and then one on the inside of the Hetsie blooms, and one on the inside of the center of the Hetsie. And then I do a zigzag stitch around the edges, which is the finishing. Oops, forgot my... Now, when I'm over here at the end, I just pull this tail so that way there it gets caught up underneath the next thing of stitches. And then while this is down into the fabric, I just tap my reverse stitching, which adds a couple little knots right there. And then there is our quilted postcard. And it's all ready to go for me to write whatever I want on here. And what I do is I write my little notes on here to whoever I'm sending it out to. And then I buy off of Amazon, I buy these sleeves here. And these are 9 inches by 6 inches, so they fit in here nice and beautifully. But what I'll also buy so I also get like these little clear sleeves here. Self-sealing cellophane sleeves. And that way there, it helps protect my card. So I'm going to slide this right in here. I would be able to seal this up so that way there, my fabric and my paper is fully protected whenever I'm mailing it out. And then I put it in here, and then I put the address and just a normal postage. I put just a normal forever stamp and never had a problem sending it out like that. So that is how I do my postcards. Do we have any questions or anything like that? Or do you need me to show you anything else again? Get me some coffee while I wait to see if anybody needs me to show them anything else. And Kate, thank you so much for answering Deb for me. Alrighty. So, who would like a giveaway? Where did it go? There it is. I have 2 items to give away. No worries at all, Janet. I got 2 items to give away. I got 2 wristband keychains. Oh, you're so welcome, Kathy, and thank you so much. Okay, so I got 2 wristband keychains here. I do already got some stuff I gotta ship out, so this just works out good because then I can just ship it right on out. Oh, I had to watch again later. Busy here tonight. No worries at all, Deb. Make sure you send me what those measurements are for that, for the hatties that you're working on, and I'll have my son create a template for you to put into your package for you. So let me set up the giveaway. Yeah. Who does not love a giveaway? Okay, let's see. All viewers. Okay, the giveaway word, no exclamation point or anything, is just the giveaway word is keychain. 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 Yes, you, Miss Deb. Make sure you send me an email of what size the hatchies are that you are working with, and I will have my son. Where is it at? There it is. Make a Etsy template for you to put into your order for you. So whoever would like a keychain, make sure you send out an email or post it. Everyone, please be careful when buying those orange envelopes. I purchased a box and it was 1/8 of an inch too big to go as a regular letter. The post office charged me double to send it. Oh, wow. That is crazy. Yes, Miss Joyce, giveaways. All you gotta do is enter. To enter is all you gotta do is type in keychain. No exclamation point or anything. So the first one is gonna be this one. This beautiful thing here. is like a peach, or it goes from pink to peach to like a yellow. Really pretty sunset yellow. These are 12 inches long and same color on the inside. Has fusible fleece on the inside to help keep it nice and stiff and everything. And it's nice and comfy for around the wrist. Super strong. Not a dog leash strong, but strong enough for your keys. It survived. The very first ones I ever made is still surviving on my husband's 2 keychains. So, if that tells you anything. And I made those for him years ago. So this is going to be the first one we give away. I'm like, this is something I can give away, and it'll be, I can be fairly cheap and everything. Won't cost me a fortune right after Christmas. Let's see, so far we have only 9 entries. All right, I'll give it 30 more seconds for anybody that would like to enter keychain into the chats. Hello, Janet Shalke. I did not see you sneak in. Okay, so the first one is going to Kate. Congratulations, Kate. I will get this out to you. I still already got something I need to ship out to you anyway. And so we are going to continue this. So the opening for this here, for my template, or the opening for the keychain. This is my keychain straps are 12 inches long, folded in half. So this would be a 6-inch opening. And for this one here, if you're talking about my template, the opening here is 1 inch. So this is a 1-inch hexagon here. And it is, if you're using the outside, then it's about slightly under 1.5. Because I have a 3/8 seam allowance on the outside. So we're going to continue. Let's see here. Okay, everybody keep on entering in keychain if you would like to win. We are going to remove Kate since she won the first one, because this is the second one here. So if you would like to win this one here, I did wind up making a little bit wider than what I normally do because I was playing with different sizes. No worries at all, Sheila. These can be used for more than just keys. So like if you're taking your pup to the Petco or whatnot with you, and you're going to put your pup in the stroll in the buggy while you're shopping, then you can actually try and hook their little leash up to this so that way they can't jump out of there, because then it can go around your wrist and they're nice and secured. That's what Jean from Captain Stitches has done with hers. But she had a scrunchy one from me, but same concept. Or you could just use it for decoration or for gifting. You could always re-gift them to somebody else. But this one here is going to be the next one that we do. Let's see. Okay, so I'll give you guys all a few more minutes to enter. And then we are going to get going because I've been on here for an hour and a half and I'm starting to get tired. And then I need puppy cuddles. Okay, all you gotta do is just type in keychain into the chat, and that'll get you entered. If you already typed it in, you are already entered for this one. That is very true, Brenda. Awesome idea there. Nice luggage tag to quickly identify your luggage. Most definitely. Or if you carry a purse, then you could just hook it around your purse strap. And then you got a nice little fidget toy to play with your purse. Oh, okay. Thank you, Katie. Okay, so our next winner is Michelle. Michelle's Crafts and More. This one here is coming to you, lovely lady. Alright, guys. I am going to get going. I've been on here for slightly over an hour and a half now, and it's time to go over and watch Mama Debbie's premiere of her Quiltmas Afterglow. So make sure y'all kick your booties on over there. Michelle, post a link real quick for it if you don't mind. And I will see you guys all in a little while. I'll wait for Michelle to post that link in here for Mama Debbie's thing. Chop, chop, Michelle. Come on. You didn't already have that ready? There you go. Bye, guys. Love y'all. Take care. If you get out and about, smile, because you never know whose day you can brighten with a small gesture of a smile that will also be trying to